Hello everybody, this is Chris from ChrisTrains. Guten Tag. That's as much German as you'll hear from me. And I'm here to show you the new RS1. Give you a quick rundown of some of the features of it. This project's been in work for a few months now. Today we're going to be using the fictional Seeberg barn version. And the first thing I just want to show you while we're on the outside are these couplers here at the front. This white area above the hook is a random function. Some of the trains have it, some don't. And it's random for each train, each instance of the train. You can see this one has it as well. Now this one also has a cover over the hook. You can see the cover just behind the hook there. Again, that's a random function. Some trains will have it, some won't. So let's just pop back to the Seeberg barn, pop inside. Now obviously one of the things that I put on all of the trains is selectable destinations, and this train is no different. So you can see here the two signboards on the front, and using the keys listed in the handbook you can choose different destinations. Just hop inside now. Okay, we're in the cab, it's a little bit quieter in here. Mirrors, this has fold out mirrors. That's this switch here, so you can either put them in manual, which means they're always out, off, which means they're never out, or automatic, which means they come out when the train stops, and then they retract again at 5 kilometers an hour. This train is a single handle control. This control here does braking and accelerating. Like most of my trains now, there's two cab views, so you have one which is straightforwards, and then a second one where you can see further down at the controls. We have sun blinds, same as I put on a couple of the other trains now. You can use those however you want. Of course, independent cab lighting controls, so cab light, instrument lights. One of the other things we have in here now is selectable lighting for the passenger view. So you can see here the passenger view is quite light. What I can do is go back into the cab, and over here I can flick that off. We go back in here now, and the lights have been turned off. Back into the cab view. Now one of the features that I've put in this train is, and excuse me if I butcher the word for this, Haltewunsch. This train is basically a bus. So it has a feature in it in the real train where people can push a button inside and it signals the driver that they want to get off at the next stop. And what I've done for this train is I've included a scenery object. So what I'll do is I'll just go into the route editor here, and you can use this scenery object either in the route editor or you can use it in the scenario. And if you want to create a scenario, for example, where you want to simulate the passengers pressing the button, let's say they're going to push the button here because they want to get off at the next station. What you can do is you can come over here into the miscellaneous and make sure that ChrisTrains is listed in the provider list over here. And what you see now is there's this RS1, this CT for ChrisTrains, RS1 stop requester, and it's a trackside object. You can just place it there and then place this in the track. And it leaves you with this little red thing that says stop requester. It's really just a visual aid. You would normally hide that below the ground so the player can't see it when they're playing. So let me just save the changes. I just did this in the route editor, but like I said, you can do the same thing in the scenario editor. So if we go back to play mode, and I will just need to fly back to the train. Okay. Okay, so we're back in the cab now. We'll just turn on the CIFA. And there's PZB as well, and there's 10,000 reasons why the PZB will stop me. So for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to leave it turned off. Select forwards, turn the headlights on, and push forwards on the throttle, and away we go. Once you go into the power position, the brakes are let off automatically. There's a holding brake in this train, so it holds the brake at any given value once you're stopped. This is a geared diesel engine, so as the speed goes up, you'll hear the gears change. Just control this with the keyboard now. So I'm just going to stop out at about 55 here. Oh, that's the CIFA. Reset that. So we're going to join the main line here. That was my controller buzzing on the desk. Apologies for that. There's a fairly basic cruise control in here, speeding, CIFA, that you can set. So if the cruise control is turned on, the power handle controls how much power the cruise control system can have. So if you have the power handle set back slightly, cruise control might not be able to keep up with the speed. If you have it set all the way forwards, you're giving it full control over the power. It's a fairly rudimentary cruise control in this system, but it does work. It is CIFA. It is a classic cruise control. It only controls your speed. It does not control your braking. So if you remember, when I was editing the route, I put a stop requester over here near this house. So what should happen now is, as we go around this corner, and again, excuse me if I'm butchering the words, the Haltewunsch light should come on, and that simulates someone having asked to stop at the next station. Now, one other thing that I can do is over here with the door controls, I can indicate that at the next station I want I want the ramp to come out. So that's this button over here. So here we should see this Haltewunsch light go on, there, as we ran over my object. So what we can do now is start to slow down for the station. We weren't going that fast anyway. And as we come into the station, I'll stop and open the doors. I got to the CIFA before the alarm this time. And you'll see a couple of things happen. So once I stop, I'll stop pretty gradually here. When I come to a complete stop, the holding brake will kick in, so you'll see the brake value go up here. That's the holding brake. Then just hop outside. When I open the doors, I ask the step to come out. Also, when I open the doors, the Haltewunsch light has gone out, indicating that we've stopped where the passenger wanted us to stop, and hopefully they're happy with that. So I'm just going to move us along the platform here a little bit. Like that. And I'm going to jam the throttle wide open. into the train. And we're now in a 70 km an hour speed limit, CIFA. While it's not strictly accurate, what I've done is, if you happen to turn the CIFA system off in this train, I put a little red light behind this button here. In the real train it's just off permanently, but I wanted to give some sort of an indication that the system was turned off. Anyway, so that sort of concludes the introduction to the RS1 from ChrisTrains. Hopefully you'll enjoy driving it. It's been another one of those projects that's been really interesting to work with, and I want to thank the beta testers who helped me iron out a lot of bugs and added a lot of extra functionality to it. As always, there are a few things that I didn't have time to do. They will potentially come along in version 1.1 or 1.2 maybe, but I just wanted to get this out so people could start playing with it. Anyway, so again, it's Chris from ChrisTrains. I hope you enjoyed the preview, and I hope you enjoy the train.